Hey, what's up? Talofalava. This is Leotawa Dr. John Peterson, and I'm here with the Alofa movement. So glad to be back with you all. It is Christmas time, holiday time, Kwanzaa time, Three Kings time, Tres Reyes, Hanukkah time. So I hope everybody's doing good out there and enjoying the holiday season and the spirit and cheer. I know that I've been enjoying this nicer weather today. It's about 34 degrees out, 35 degrees out, and the sun is out, which makes it really nice to be outside and to not be super cold and worry about ice and stuff. So at my size, I have to worry about ice. So yeah, just great to be back. Had a good episode here a couple days ago with the big CSG reveal. Before I get started, let me just say thank you to everyone who subscribed. I think I've doubled my subscribers from like 4 or 5 to 10, which is great. Hopefully we can pick up a few more subscribers here in this next episode. But definitely subscribe and or hit the like button. I set it up so that you can make comments now. I think there was a feature that I said only for kids or not for just kids. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm not a YouTube expert here or anything like that, but definitely wanted to make it open for comments and such. So let's see here. Oh yeah, T2 is the business. T2 Consulting LLC. You can check out how to find me in the description on the YouTube page, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yes, I do some TikTok. Actually, TikTok, incidentally, had more subscribers this year and more action than any other company on the planet. They have over 1 billion subscribers. They're beyond even Google now. So yeah, if you haven't checked out TikTok, you got to get in the game. Come on now. The youth are doing TikTok, so you got to be involved. Do a couple TikToks and have some fun. Definitely check out a few of mine. I think there's some funny ones, humorous ones in there. Mostly the dogs, Charlie and Netta. What else? Oh yeah, so you can check out my business in the description. If you have any questions about education, lobbying, consulting, etc., I definitely can do that. If you have any questions about sports cards, can definitely talk with you about that. What else? Oh yeah, a link to the book that I wrote back in 2018 is in there, as well as a link to the music that goes along with the book. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we're here to talk about football cards. All right, so this last time we met, we talked about Kobe Bryant, 1996 Flair Showcase, 97 Flair Showcase. We talked about a 1981 Topps Magic Johnson second-year card. We talked about 64 Topps Clemente, and then a little more broadly talked about Certified Sports Guarantee CSG. So today I want to talk to you about some raw stuff, some raw cards. Raw meaning not graded. So I just want to give a shout out, one to my family, one love, appreciate Michael and the kids, and everybody in Samoa, and Wisconsin, and Minnesota, and all over. Just want to give a big shout out to everybody. Hope everyone's staying safe out there during the pandemic, and hopefully able to enjoy the good aspects of life on a daily basis. That's important. I want to give another shout out to Dawn. Dawn, I don't know if you're going to see this. Dawn is a former classmate of mine. I won't give her last name, but I went to Menominee High School in West Central Wisconsin. And about a month ago, I put out something on Facebook or Instagram. I can't remember what it was. I was like, hey, I'm looking to get into cards again. If anyone knows of any cards, et cetera, et cetera. So Dawn gave me a tip on a place where I could find some cards. So a while back, I decided to bid on a couple of lots, specifically of football cards. And I had remembered these football cards from way back, like back in the 80s, mid 80s. I think I might have been like 10, 11, 12 years old. I don't even remember. But I ended up purchasing the 2 lots. There were probably 3,000 to 4,000 cards in the 2 lots. They were in like plastic bins or buckets. And the cards were from 1986. So for those of you that are football fans, you'll remember that in 1985-86, the Chicago Bears went 15-1, not including the playoffs, and then they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So that, for a lot of folks, would have been the Super Bowl shuffle. We Are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you, right? And so one of the leaders, if not the leader of the Bears, was this guy, Walter Payton, okay, number 34, otherwise known as Sweetness, right? And, one of the greatest, if not top 3 greatest running backs in the history of the game. And definitely one of the all-time great ambassadors of pro sports and of football. I think the Walter Payton Man of the Year award goes to an NFL player every year who does a really nice job of serving community and serving people from different backgrounds, people who might have unique needs, special needs, that sort of thing. So sometimes it's foundation work, sometimes it's nonprofit. I guess it just depends. So anyway, these cards are from 1986. All right. And you can see in the upper left-hand corner, there's a McDonald's logo. So these are food issue football cards. Now they're a little bit bigger than the normal size cards. They're like 3 1/16 on the bottom and at the top. And then there's 4 3/4 lengthwise. So they're bigger than the standard issue football or basketball or baseball cards. But in 1986, McDonald's decided to print some football cards. And they printed 2 different types of football cards that year. They printed team cards. So this would be 24 players on each team in the NFL at that time. And then they printed, I think, 24 all-star cards, players who are all-stars. Now, the way it worked was this. There were 2 different markets that they sold these, or they gave these cards away. They were part of I think you got a Happy Meal or something like that, or a value meal, and you got a card or 2. So I think the way they did it is they had the team cards available to patrons of McDonald's in any of the metropolitan areas that had a football team. So like in Wisconsin, if you lived in the Green Bay area and probably in the Milwaukee area too, you had access to the team cards, which would have been 24 players, I think 12 on offense and 12 on defense from the players. But the other places in Wisconsin, you wouldn't have had access to the team cards. So like in Menominee, we didn't have access to the team cards. In River Falls, they didn't have access to the team cards. So what they did, instead of issuing the team cards in those areas that didn't have the metropolitan, team surrounded by it, they issued these all-star cards. Okay. And there were like 24 different players like Walter Payton, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Lawrence Taylor, Marcus Allen, all these different players from the mid-'80s. So I ended up purchasing these 2 lots, and there were a lot of cards. I mean, oh my gosh, spent hours and hours sorting these cards and organizing them, and I'm maybe halfway. I had to take a break because it was just too much, and I even enlisted the help of my Uso, my good brother, Sonny Tavita Vainupo Semeatu. One love, Uso. Great to have you up here in the last couple of weeks, and really appreciated all the work that you did to help organize some of the blue and the black cards. Also, in addition to the urban, metropolitan, and more rural split between the types of cards you got, each week, and there were 4 weeks, a different color of card was issued. And what I mean by color is that at the bottom of this card, you can see very closely, there's some perforation here, right? Little dots so that you can rip it off. And what this is here is this is a scratch off, this black part. Okay. Now what you did is it was called play and win. So what you would do is you would play, you would scratch off this part. And then if you got a winner, you'd rip off the tab, you'd bend it and then rip off the tab, and then you'd turn it in and get like a free cheeseburger or a free milk or a free box of cookies or whatever it was. I don't remember. I remember the cards, but I don't remember ever getting anything for them. So week 1, they printed off the blue tabs. Okay. Week 2, they printed off the black tabs. Week 3, they printed off the orange/gold tabs. And then week 4, they printed off the green tabs. And then after that, they didn't print anymore. That was it. So a while back, probably in the last month, I ended up buying, like I said, a couple lots of these cards. Come to find out, these cards are pretty rare. Like a lot of people, not surprisingly, scratch the tabs off and scratch the scratch off. And if they got a winner, they turned it in. If they didn't, they maybe threw it away, put it in the garbage, like, oh, this is garbage. So these are relatively hard to find. You can find them on eBay, and you can find them like on professional sports authenticators, PSA, but they're not cheap. They're not inexpensive. Some of the commons, even raw, that aren't graded, are like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8. I mean, I've even seen some raw versions of these cards going for anywhere from $15 to $25 to $30. And part of that is because a lot of them got destroyed or thrown away or scratched off or whatever you think. So all the ones that I got, the vast majority were not scratched off, and they're in really good shape. And I think that whoever had these cards had them for the duration of the 30 plus years, 35 years, 1986 to now. That's 35 years, right? Almost 34, 36 years. I think they might have been like the manager of multiple stores or something, because almost 95 to 97% of all the cards came in bins, and the cards had never been touched. So like when I went through the cards, I could tell that they were organized in such a way that they hadn't been looked through. Now, a couple spots of people had looked through a couple spots, but on the whole, no one ever had touched these cards. Part of the reason, I know that is because there were like shavings that came off the sides of the card. This part here from the cut, when it was manufactured and printed and cut, that came off and show up as like little shavings on your shirt or on your sweatshirt or whatever. And so I'm pretty confident that the cards that I've got that I picked up have never been touched. Now, I've got a whole bunch of the All-Stars, like a lot, not a small amount. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Today, what I want to talk about is one of my favorite sports subjects of all time. I don't know if anyone can guess what it might be, but it is the Green Bay Packers. So I've been a Packer fan since I was about 4 or 5 years old. Obviously grew up in Wisconsin, born in Samoa, and spent a little time in Minnesota, but spent the majority of my formative years growing up in Wisconsin. Huge Packer fan. I come from a huge Packer fan family. My grandparents love the Packers. My parents love the Packers. My aunts and uncles love the Packers. My cousins love the Packers. My brother loves the Packers. My sister loves the Packers. At least I think she still loves the Packers. I love the Packers, right? So we live and breathe Packers. Now, we're not like way over the top Packers fans. So like I've only been to a few games. I'm not a season ticket holder. I do own a share in the Packers, which is cool. Which I got from my in-laws, which was really nice a number of years ago. But yeah, I just love the Packers. I mean, I love the Bucks. That's why I wear my Giannis sweatshirt, or my Packers, or my Bucks sweatshirts, or whatever it might be. So today what I want to talk about is something that came with the lots that I did not predict. So I thought the lot just had All-Stars in it. No. It had Packers. A lot of Packers, okay? And a lot of the Packers from the mid-'80s, okay? So now the set has 24 players in it. And I thought what I would do is I would go through the set today and show you folks some of these old names from the history, the long-standing history of the Packers, which in the 1980s was not a real great history because they were pretty miserable as a team. And then in the 90s, and now, of course, since the 90s, they've been pretty darn good. So without any further ado, I want to show you the 24 players from the 1986 football McDonald's issue Packers team set. All right. And these are black. These are not the blue, the green, or the orange/gold. All right. First player. Lynn Dickey. All right. Lynn Dickey. Went to Kansas State, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, 6'4", 210 pounds. In 1986, it was his 14th year in the league. He started in 1972. That's pretty old. I didn't know he was that old back in the mid-'80s. It was pretty good. His best year, it looked like, was 1983. He threw for 4,500 yards. He had 32 touchdowns, but he also had 29 interceptions. That's hilarious. All right, so Lynn Dickey, he was the quarterback of the Packers in 1986, number 12. And the cards are numbered by the jersey numbers of the players. Next player, Randy Wright, number 16. Right, Randy Wright was the backup quarterback. Most people know Randy Wright from the Packers, but also some people remember him because he was a quarterback at the University of Wisconsin, at Madison. And I know there's a number of people like Mason Stockey and Jamie Spielman and other folks who have played at Wisconsin and gone down to Madison to play football from Menominee, from MHS football. So Randy Wright. Next player, I didn't remember this guy. His name is Jesse Clark. You'll have to let me know who this guy was because I have no recollection of Jesse Clark. Looks like he was an Arkansas collegiate athlete, football player, his 4th year. It says strong runner who was also an excellent blocker and pass receiver. Well, I don't remember who he was. Maybe Tim Harmston. If you're watching this, Tim, maybe you know who Jesse Clark was. So he's number 33. This guy I do remember. This is Ezra Johnson. Ezra Johnson, I think, was a defensive end. Yeah, it says D end. This was his 10th year in 1986. Considered one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, also known as Sir Sack by his teammates. So yeah, he was a good player. I don't know if he made the Pro Bowl or not, but I remember, he had 14 and a half sacks in 1983. Yeah, I'm sure he made the Pro Bowl. This guy, remember, the Noble one, Brian Noble, he played linebacker. This was his 2nd year. He was an inside guy, so he played inside linebacker. Very good player. Went to Arizona State. Yeah, I remember liking him quite a bit. He was a really nice player. Another great linebacker. Outside linebacker, though, John Anderson, for those that remember John Anderson. I think he was an early round draft choice, 1st round maybe. Where did he play? He played at Michigan. Those you Michigan fans out there, I hope there aren't too many Michigan fans on my Facebook and YouTube. But yeah, really nice player. Led the Packers, linebackers in interceptions. The guy had 21 interceptions from 78 to 85 as an outside linebacker. That's impressive. That's really impressive. Next guy. Good old Mark Murphy. Loved Mark Murphy. I remember he was bald. Loved the way he played. Hard hitter, good tackler. They signed him as a free agent in 1980. Yeah, just a solid all-around defensive back, safety. All right, see if anybody remembers this guy. Ken Rutgers, also known as Mountain of a Man, Ken Rutgers, because he was so big at the time. 6'5", 275 was a mountain back then. So, yeah, he was also a first-round draft choice. I think this is like maybe even – that might even be his like rookie card because he was drafted in 85. And it says 7th player selected. Packers thought so much of him that they swapped their 1st and 2nd round draft picks to Buffalo in 85 to move up in order to draft him. Intelligent, intense, punishing blocker who also has a strong work ethic. Yeah, he was good. I think he played left tackle, if I'm not mistaken. This guy, Alfonso Carricker. I don't know too much about him. Oh, he was also a first-round draft choice. 1984, 12th player selected. Yeah, I don't ever remember. Oh, he was called the Secretary of Defense at Florida State. Okay, well, I don't know how he fared in the NFL, but I don't remember too much about him. Who's next here? Make sure I get these right. All right, we got Paul Kaufman. Now, Paul Kaufman, I love Paul Kaufman. He was a tight end. I always wanted to play tight end in high school. I ended up playing guard, which was okay. That was fine too, but I always wanted to play tight end. But yeah, what a great player. I think he was a Pro Bowler, in fact. Let's see here. A 3-time NFC Pro Bowl selection. Led the NFL at tight ends and touchdowns with 9 in 1984. All right, not bad. Baller. This guy, Jim Zorn. How many people remember Jim Zorn? He was a lefty. Maybe you remember him, Wheels, because you're a lefty. Don't know. Throws left-handed, adept scrambler in the Fran Tarkenton mold. Ranks third on the Seahawks all-time rushing list with 1,493 yards. This guy had some good seasons. Now, he threw for over 3,000 yards 3 consecutive years. I think he was paired up with Steve Largent with the Seattle Seahawks back in the 70s. So they were kind of a big Seattle combo. Next guy, Carl Swanky. Never heard of him. Have no idea where he came from or who he. Elmhurst, Illinois. Yeah, I've been to Elmhurst, but I don't know. I think my Aunt Mary is from Elmhurst. Maybe, I can't remember. Anyway, so Carl Swanky. Yeah, there he is. You got him. Next guy, love this guy, Philip Epps. I know a lot of people remember Philip Epps. Small guy, 5'9.5", 165, but was drafted and made it to the Packers and was kind of a fan favorite, if I remember right. Played wide receiver. This guy was a nice player. Tim Lewis. All right, Tim Lewis, number 26. First-round draft choice in 1983, 11th player selected. Let's see here. Rookie year had 5 interceptions. 84 second year, 7, and 85, 4 interceptions. So he was a really nice player. I think, did he get injured? Maybe somebody can mention in the comments. I want to say he got injured or hurt or something. Maybe his neck. Shortened his career. Mike Douglas. Yeah, he was another outside linebacker. He's a nice player. Mad Dog. Mike Mad Dog Douglas, I think was his nickname. Let's see here. We got Charles Martin. Charles Martin. Now, is he the guy that body slammed Jim McMahon in the 85 season? Somebody from the Packers body slammed Jim McMahon. I think it was this guy, and he got ejected from the game. That was like the highlight for the Packers of that game because they just got annihilated in all facets of the game. Yeah, so Charles Martin, infamy, don't know. Donnie Humphrey, never heard of him. Tim, maybe you know who this guy was. Donnie Humphrey, anyone? A nose tackle from Auburn? Yeah, never heard of him. Mike Butler, another guy I don't really remember. Went to Kansas. Yeah, defensive lineman. Tom Flynn, no recollection of Tom Flynn. Where'd he go? Pittsburgh? Free safety? Don't know. Mark Lee. Now, this guy was pretty good. This guy went to the Pro Bowl, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he had 15 interceptions in about 5 years. Second-team All-American. It's pretty good in college. Yeah, he was a decent quarterback. I think he played, I don't know if he was played the slot or if he played the other spot. Al Del Greco. Yes, sir. Al the Greek. Or Al from Greece. He was a kicker. Good kicker. Not bad. Not a bad kicker. He was kind of a fan favorite too. Al Del Greco, the kicker. Can't forget Jerry Ellis, the main running back for the Packers back in the day. It was Jerry Ellis and what? Eddie Lee Ivory. I didn't see an Eddie Lee in here. So, yeah, Jerry Ellis. And then, let's see, I've got 3 duplicates here. So I got Douglas, Jesse Clark, and Brian Noble. Let me count. Make sure I have, because there's supposed to be 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Maybe there's only 22, 11 on offense and 11 on defense. I've gone through a couple good-sized stacks of these, and I haven't seen any that I'm missing. I want to say, no, I think this is everything. So maybe there's just 22 players on each team. In any case, I'll find out and let you all know. So that's it. The 1986 Packers McDonald's food issue football cards. A bit of a unique niche card and collection, but if you're into that sort of rarer type of bird, in this case a football card, might be right up your alley. Now, if you want, you can go on eBay and you can see what some of these are selling for. I mean, I saw the Kaufman. I think they were selling it for like anywhere from $3 to $7 a card, which I kind of find hard to believe that anyone would pay that. But that's what I saw it listed on eBay. I haven't seen any Lynn Dickeys, Randy Wrights. I haven't seen any of the quarterbacks on eBay for sale. Again, these are the black ones, the black tabs. Okay, they're not the green, not the orange or gold, or the blue. Which I think the blue ones are the most rare, because those were the week one tabs cards, and they got scratched off probably the most frequently. I have some of the Walter Payton, Dan Marino, Lawrence Taylor, and Joe Montana in blue and black and green. And the blue ones are harder to find in good quality. Let's put it that way. But anyway, so yeah. So where does this lead? Well, I have a few of these I have a few of these team sets, you can imagine, right? So I got all these cards. So I'd be interested in partnering with, like, say, a bar or bars that are looking to raffle off team sets of these cards. I think there are Packers fans out there that would love to have a team set of these. They're cool. They're bigger. And they're from like a bygone era, right? Back when the Packers like totally sucked, but we loved them as much as we love the Packers when they've been great, right? I didn't love the 86 Packers any less than I loved the 97 Super Bowl team or the 2011 10-11 Super Bowl team, or even the team right now. If you're a Packer fan, you're a Packer fan. You bleed green and gold. You know, that's how we got to the 13 world championships. You know, the 9 world championships and the 4 Super Bowls. So I guess it doesn't really matter if you're a Packer fan. You kind of like Packer stuff just generally. So if you're interested, or you know somebody that owns a bar, or you know a group of people, a nonprofit or something, that are looking to raffle some stuff off, I'd be willing to part with some of these. I'd want to sell them because I spent money buying them. How much, we could, figure that out. I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, it won't be $10. I'm gonna tell you that right now, but they won't be like hundreds of dollars either. So yeah, let me know. And if there's any individuals watching this, any people on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok, whatever, that are interested in maybe buying a team set, feel free to do so. And you can reach out to me. You got my information. You can contact me, instant message me, digital message me, whatever. So, and then the last thing is too, you could get, oh, phone went off. Sorry about that. You could get these graded. Now, I've never seen any Packers cards graded by PSA or CSG, but like this card's in nice shape. Look at the corners. They're clean. The sides are clean. It's centered, right? The scratch off part is still intact. I mean, you could get this graded. I'll bet you if you sent this in, you could get this graded. It'd come back at maybe like a 9, possibly even a 10. What would this card be worth? Well, if it's worth $7 raw and you get it back in a gem mint 10, you could probably sell this card for $100. So if that gives you any indication, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't know, because no one's ever graded a Lynn Dickey 1986 McDonald's football card. But like, this is the whole set, right? It's 22 cards, right? You could send a bunch of them in, the best players like Tim Lewis and Lynn Dickey and Paul Kaufman and John Anderson. You could send those in and get those graded and maybe flip them, maybe make a little money. I don't live in Wisconsin anymore. I live in Viking territory, although there are a lot of Packers fans here in Minnesota. I don't know that I'd have much of a market here to sell them, other than maybe at like a Packers bar at Gabe's or something like that. So, which is in St. Paul, it's a Packer bar. A couple Packer bars in the Twin Cities, but not too many. But in Wisconsin, I'm telling you what, you might be able to sell these like hotcakes, right? So with that said, if you're interested, hit me up, send me a text. You know how to reach me. You can get a hold of me on Facebook or whatever, Facebook Messenger. And yeah, check out the 1986 Green Bay Packers McDonald's food issue play and win cards. So just want to say thanks for watching. We're at about 30 minutes. I try and keep these to 30 minutes or less. I don't want to go on too long. I did send in a few more cards to CSG. I picked up 4 more cards and sent them in about a week ago. And so when I get those back, I'll do another reveal. I also picked up some 68, 69, and 70, 71 basketball cards. And I'm telling you, there's some sweet, sweet cards. And when I got them for a really good price. I went to a local card shop, and I thought they did me right. They did me right. They weren't overcharging me or nickel and diming me or anything like that, which I really appreciate. So I'll definitely be going back there at some point. They've got good like Ultra Pro semi-rigid card sleeves, and they just got a bunch of stuff there. So yeah, but I'll do another video, maybe even later today, on those basketball cards. I also picked up some Redman baseball cards from 1954, which were super cheap. I mean, like, I got a stack of them about this high, and they were like $100. I mean, $100 is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but like, relatively speaking, for something that old. So Redman obviously was the longer cut tobacco, chewing tobacco. Redman, for those of you that ever tried Redman, I was more of a Redman guy than I was Levi Garrett, although I did chew a little Levi Garrett too, but preferred Redman. Only chewed it like 4 times. Mostly with Jason Johnson when I was helping him line the baseball fields and drag the baseball fields back in the summertime. I think we maybe tried that once or twice or something. I can't remember. It wasn't very much. So anyway, all that being said, I hope that you have a blessed Christmas. I hope you have a great holidays, a great New Year. I'll try and jump on again and talk a little bit more. I also want to talk a little bit about the All-Star cards, because I think these All-Star football cards I think they're pretty valuable. I mean, like, I don't know. Marino, there's 4 different Marinos. There's 4 different Montanas. There's 4 different Walter Paytons and 4 different Lawrence Taylors. And then there's like Marcus Allen, a bunch of great linemen, like Anthony Munoz, who like some consider to be the best left tackle in the history of the game, him and Forrest Gregg. Let's see here. Mike Webster, center from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a Hall of Famer, maybe one of the best centers, if not the best center. Wait, who's a better center than Mike Webster? Jim Otto? I mean, that might be it. Who else? Deron Cherry and Gerald Riggs from the Atlanta Falcons, and Phil Simms won a couple Super Bowls with the Giants. Roger Craig, if you're a 49ers fan, the Roger Craig card's really cool. So I've got a bunch of those, and I'd like to do an episode, a show just devoted to the All-Stars from the 1986 McDonald's set. So, and I've got team sets of those that I could put together. Those would be a little pricier than the Packers sets because the players obviously are all All-Stars. I don't know if they're more or less rare than the team sets. Some people say the team sets are more rare, but I mean, how would you even quantify that? I have no idea. You'd have to talk with somebody at McDonald's. And I don't know many people in the higher up system of McDonald's. So if you know of somebody, let me know. I'd love to talk with them and get a hold of some data so I can take a look at it. But so all that being said, let me know if you have any questions. If you're interested in buying some Packers team cards from 86, holler at me. Otherwise, have a blessed day. Take care of yourself. Peace out and one love.